Welcome to Alien Whispers, where thrilling HFY fiction springs to life. Embark on epic sci-fi journeys where humans defy alien doubters, steal the hearts of fierce cosmic warriors, and rise as heroes in bold, steamy intergalactic romances. If you enjoy the story, please consider subscribing. It was 3 a.m. in the Walmart parking lot in Ocala, Florida, and the scene was anything but ordinary. The flickering sodium lights buzzed overhead, casting a sickly yellow glow across the cracked asphalt. Abandoned shopping carts rolled lazily in the humid breeze, and the air carried the faint stench of stale beer and motor oil. A rowdy crowd had gathered, their phone screens glowing like fireflies as they live-streamed the chaos unfolding before them. This wasn't just any late-night brawl, it was a TikTok event, and at its center stood Jake Gator Malone, a 28-year-old handyman and proud Florida man. Jake was a sight to behold. His tie-dye tank top, emblazoned with a cartoon alligator chomping on a taco, clung to his wiry frame, damp with sweat from the muggy night. His cargo shorts sagged under the weight of random junk, Tabasco sauce, a can of Spam, and probably a few things he'd forgotten about himself. His mullet, a masterpiece of business in the front, party in the back glory, fluttered as he strutted around, phone in hand, grinning like a madman. He was live-streaming to his 5,000 followers, hyping up a fight with a local thug who loomed nearby, cracking his knuckles and scowling. "Yo, check this guy out." Jake shouted into his phone, pointing at his opponent. "Thinks he's tough, huh? Bro, I fight at Walmart. 3 a.m., shopping cart ring only. Let's see if you can handle the gator." The crowd cheered, their voices a mix of drunken excitement and disbelief. Phones flashed, capturing every second of Jake's bravado. His TikTok chat was already buzzing. Gator goat. Florida man strikes again. And the view count was climbing fast. Jake paced back and forth, trash-talking with the confidence of a man who'd faced worse than a parking lot bully. "Man, you hit like a mosquito bites. Weak," he taunted, winking at the camera. "I've wrestled gators tougher than you." The thug growled, stepping closer, but before the fists could fly, the night took a turn no one saw coming. A blinding light erupted in the sky, stopping everyone in their tracks. The crowd stumbled back, shielding their eyes as a massive, glowing spaceship descended. It was sleek and alien, its surface pulsing with strange energy. With a deafening crunch, it landed, flattening a row of parked cars, somebody's beat-up Chevy, and a minivan with a baby on board sticker. The crowd gasped, a few people screaming, but Jake just squinted up at the ship, unfazed. The hatch hissed open, and out stepped Krogath, a towering Zygon warrior. His blue scales shimmered under the neon lights, and his three glowing eyes locked onto the scene below. In his clawed hand, he held a plasma sword, its blade crackling with electric fury. He raised it high and bellowed, "I am Krogath. I seek Earth's mightiest warrior. Face me, or perish." Panic rippled through the crowd. People clutched their phones tighter, some backing away, others too stunned to move. But Jake? He didn't even blink. He tilted his head, looked Krogath up and down, then turned back to his phone with a smirk. "Yo, lizard lips, you just crashed my stream," he yelled, pointing at the alien. "And what's with that glow stick? You call that a sword? Looks like something my cousin would buy at a gas station." The crowd erupted into nervous laughter, feeding off Jake's absurdity. The TikTok chat exploded. Gator versus alien. Mullet power. And within seconds, the livestream's view count shot into the millions. Jake's trash talk was spreading like wildfire, not just on Earth but across galactic networks as alien species tuned in to see what was happening. High above, cloaked in a hovering drone, Vexa watched it all unfold. She was a Zygon scientist, her silver skin gleaming faintly as she adjusted her controls. Her three eyes narrowed as she studied Jake through the drone's feed. "This human exhibits illogical bravery," she said, her voice formal and clipped, a stark contrast to Jake's slang-filled rant. "His behavior defies rational analysis." Intriguing. Back on the ground, Krogath's scales bristled with irritation. "You dare mock me, human," he snarled, his sword humming louder as he took a menacing step forward. Jake shrugged, still grinning like he was at a backyard barbecue. Mock you? Nah, I'm just saying, your ship's just my cousin's RV, Crow. You know, the one with the busted taillight and the I break for alien sticker. The crowd lost it, howling with laughter as they filmed Jake's defiance. Alien gifs of his mullet started popping up online, captioned with Earth's finest and mullet of defiance. Krogath, clearly not used to being the butt of a joke, tightened his grip on his sword. I challenge you, human, he growled. Prove your strength, or be destroyed. Jake paused, scratching his chin as if he were mulling over a lunch order. Then he turned to his phone with a dramatic sigh. All right, chat, you heard the guy. Florida Man versus E.T. Let's make history. The crowd roared, their chants of Walmart. Walmart, shaking the parking lot. Jake set the rules. 3 rounds. Right here in the Walmart parking lot. No high-tech gadgets allowed. Krogath, bound by some alien warrior code, nodded stiffly, though his eyes burned with fury. Up in her drone, Vexa zoomed in closer, her curiosity growing. This human's confidence is anomalous, she muttered, her silver fingers tapping her control panel. Perhaps there is more to him than primitive bravado. Jake, oblivious to the alien scientist's interest, hopped onto a nearby shopping cart. Its wheels squeaked under his weight, but he stood tall, raising a can of Bud Light high above his head. The crowd's cheers hit a fever pitch, their phones flashing like strobe lights. Round 1, Crow Bro, let's dance, he shouted, chugging the beer in one go and hurling the empty can at Krogath's feet. The aluminum glinted under the neon lights as it clattered across the asphalt. Krogath's sword flared to life, his scales standing on end as he charged, the blade slicing through the air with deadly precision. But Jake was ready. With a wild grin, he leaped off the cart just as the sword swung down, missing him by inches. The fight was on, and the TikTok chat went wild. Gator go. Let's go. As the live stream trended across the galaxy, the parking lot turned into a battlefield, phones capturing every moment of the chaos. Memes flooded the internet. Jake's mullet versus Krogath's bewildered glare captioned Florida Man 1, Alien 0. The crowd's chants of Walmart echoed into the night, a bizarre anthem for an even stranger showdown. Jake dodged another swing of the plasma sword, laughing as he danced around the furious alien. Come on, Crow. You're slower than a gator in molasses, he taunted, his voice carrying over the crowd's cheers. Somewhere in the shadows, Vexa watched, her 3 eyes glowing with fascination. This human, this Florida man, was unlike anything she'd studied. His boldness, his recklessness, it made no sense, yet it was impossible to look away from. The galaxy was watching too, and Jake Gator Malone was about to become a legend. As Krogath lunged again, Jake leaped aside, the sword sparking against the asphalt. Jake Malone hit the asphalt with a roll, the plasma sword sizzling past his ear and carving a smoking trench into the Walmart parking lot. The neon lights overhead flickered wildly, bathing the scene in a surreal glow, half disco, half apocalypse. Shopping carts clattered as the crowd surged, their phones flashing like a swarm of fireflies, capturing every second of the chaos. The air reeked of burnt rubber, spilled beer, and the sharp tang of Krogath's alien tech. Jake sprang to his feet, mullet flapping, and flashed a grin that said he was having the time of his life. Man, you swing that thing like my grandma cutting pie, he shouted, dodging another wild slash from Krogath. What, they skipped sword class on Planet Lizard. Krogath's 3 eyes blazed, his blue scales bristling. Insolent human, I'll sever your tongue. Yeah, good luck finding it, Crow Bro. Jake shot back, weaving side to side with what he called his drunk stumble, a move he'd perfected dodging bar stools and angry bouncers. You're in Florida now. We don't bleed, we sweat beer. The crowd roared, their chants of Walmart. Walmart, shaking the humid night. Phones zoomed in as Jake grabbed a shopping cart, its wheels screeching like a banshee as he shoved it straight at Krogath's legs. The alien warrior stumbled, his sword flailing, and Jake didn't miss a beat. He yanked a Bud Light from his cargo shorts, popped the tab with a hiss, and hurled it at Krogath's face. "Catch glowstick, boy!" Jake yelled as the can exploded in a spray of foam, splattering Krogath's scales. "Bud Light! Bud Light!" The crowd screamed, their voices a tidal wave of chaos. The TikTok livestream skyrocketed, galactic feeds lighting up as alien viewers tuned in. Memes flooded the chat. Gator beer bomb. Alien versus aluminum. While alien forums posted baffled reactions. Is this warfare? High above, Vex's drone hovered, her silver fingers tapping her controls. The human weaponizes carbonated liquid. She noted, her tone a mix of disbelief and fascination. Primitive, yet chaotic. Krogath wiped the beer from his face, his growl vibrating the air. "You dare defile me with your earth swill?" Jake shrugged, already grabbing another can. "Defile? Nah, I'm just seasoning ya. You're looking a little dry, Crow." The alien lunged, his sword carving arcs of light, but Jake was too slippery. He ducked, rolled, and darted around a toppled cart, laughing like a kid on a sugar high. The crowd fed off it, their cheers growing wilder, phones catching every dodge and taunt. "Gator! Gator!" they bellowed as Jake lobbed another Bud Light, this one bouncing off Krogath's chest with a satisfying clank. The livestream's view count hit the stratosphere. Alien gifs of Jake's mullet captioned, "Earth's Chaos King," spreading like wildfire. But Krogath wasn't playing anymore. With a snarl, he slammed a fist against his wrist, and a shimmering energy shield flared to life around him, crackling with power. The next can Jake threw pinged off it harmlessly, rolling across the asphalt. The crowd gasped, a ripple of awe cutting through their cheers. "Oh, so now you're hiding in a bubble?" Jake said, hands on his hips. "What, scared of a little foam action?" Krogath's smirk was all teeth and menace. "Your toys are useless against Zygon technology, human." Jake's grin didn't waver. He reached into his shorts, cargo pockets deep enough to smuggle a gator, and pulled out a tiny bottle of Tabasco sauce. The crowd leaned in, phones zooming, as he twirled it like a gunslinger. Vex's drone tilted, her voice crackling through her feed. "What is that substance?" "A chemical weapon. Ever heard of Florida engineering, Crow Bro?" Jake called out, unscrewing the cap with a dramatic flourish. "This ain't tech, it's spice." Krogath's shield hummed, a wall of energy, but Jake had spotted a weakness, a small vent near the generator on Krogath's belt. With a slide that would have made a baseball coach proud, Jake slipped under the shield's edge and squirted the Tabasco straight into the vent. The shield sparked, hissed, and then fizzled out with a loud pop, leaving Krogath wide open. The alien choked, his eyes streaming as the spicy fumes hit him. "What sorcery is this?" he wheezed, staggering back. Jake hopped up, brushing off his shorts. "That's the power of hot sauce, my dude. Burns worse than a sunburned gator." "Hot sauce! Hot sauce!" The crowd shrieked, their screams bouncing off the Walmart walls. The livestream crashed servers as memes erupted. Jake crowned Spice Lord Gator, Tabasco bottles reigning in digital glory. Alien forums buzzed with shock. Condiment sabotage? Unheard of. Vex's drone zoomed closer, her voice tinged with awe. "This human defies logic." "Remarkable." Krogath, now shieldless and fuming, shook off the spice and roared, "You will pay for your insolence." He raised his arms, and a shockwave, galactic thunder, he called it, ripped through the parking lot. Carts flipped, trash flew, and the crowd stumbled back, some screaming, others whooping like it was a roller coaster. Jake caught the brunt of it, tumbling across the asphalt and landing hard near a pile of dented cans. For a moment, he didn't move. Krogath loomed over him, sword raised, his scales glinting under the neon lights. "Your tricks end here, human," he growled, the blade poised to strike. But Jake's eyes snapped open, a sly grin creeping across his face. He'd been playing possum, waiting for Krogath to get cocky. As the alien stepped closer, Jake rolled aside, the sword sparking against the ground, and sprang up like a jack-in-the-box. "Hey, Crow," Jake said, voice low and teasing. "You ticklish." Krogath blinked, his 3 eyes narrowing. "Ticklish? What?" Before he could finish, Jake darted forward, fingers jabbing under Krogath's arm where he'd heard Zygons were weak. The reaction was instant. Krogath's sword clattered to the ground as he let out a high-pitched giggle, his massive frame crumpling as he flailed helplessly. The crowd froze, then exploded into laughter, their phones shaking as they filmed the absurdity. Jake pounced, leaping onto Krogath's back and locking his arms around the alien's neck. With a twist, he flipped Krogath over and pinned him flat, using his signature alligator death roll wrestling move. "Tap out, lizard lips!" Jake shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. Krogath, still giggling and gasping, slapped the asphalt with a claw. "I yield," he croaked. The crowd lost it, their chants of Walmart. Walmart, rattling the night sky. Phones flashed like a lightning storm, the live stream trending across galaxies. Alien forums shared gifs of Jake's tickle attack, tickle torture supreme, while Earth's chat screamed, "Gator rolls galaxy." Jake stood, dusting his hands, and climbed onto a wrecked cart, raising his fists as the crowd hoisted him up. Krogath slunk back to his ship, scales dull with defeat, as the neon lights painted the lot in victory hues. Then, a shimmer caught Jake's eye. Vexa descended from her drone, her silver suit glowing under the flickering lights. The crowd parted, still filming, as she stepped forward, her three eyes locked on Jake. "Human," she said, her voice formal but warm, "your tactics fascinate me." Jake wiped sweat from his brow, grinning like a fool. "Stick around, glow stick girl. I'll show you Florida style." He fished a Bud Light from his shorts and offered it with a wink. The crowd roared, their cheers deafening, as Vexa hesitated, her suit flickering pink, embarrassment, maybe, or something more. The livestream's chat went berserk, Gator supremacy, as the galaxy watched, hooked on the wild charm of a man who fought with beer and spice. The neon lights of the Walmart parking lot buzzed, casting a sickly glow over the cracked asphalt littered with dented cans and scattered shopping carts. The air hung heavy with the scent of stale beer and burnt rubber, and the crowd's cheers surged like a tidal wave, their phones flashing as they live-streamed the chaotic scene. Vexa, the silver-skinned Zygon scientist, stood before Jake Gator Malone, her three amber eyes glinting as she grasped the Bud Light he'd offered. Her suit shimmered under the flickering lamps, a faint pink flicker betraying her curiosity. "Go on, glowstick girl," Jake said, his mullet damp with sweat, his tie-dye tank top, emblazoned with a gator eating a taco, clinging to his wiry frame. "Chug it. That's how we do it in Florida." Vexa tilted the can, her fingers brushing Jake's, and took a cautious sip. Instantly, her eyes widened, and she gagged, her silver skin flashing bright pink like a malfunctioning neon sign. The crowd erupted into laughter, their phones zooming in as the TikTok livestream went wild. Alien waifu beer fail. Glowstick girl chokes. Alien forums buzzed, posting gifs of Vex's pink flare captioned, "Earth beverage. Lethal?" Jake doubled over, clutching his cargo shorts, which bulged with Tabasco and Spam. "Yo, Vex, you okay?" he wheezed, grinning. "That's just Bud Light, not rocket fuel." Vexa coughed, her formal tone cracking. "This liquid is intolerable to Zygon physiology," she said, wiping her mouth. "Why consume such a substance?" Jake leaned against a toppled cart, its wheels squeaking, and flashed a grin. "'Cause it's fun, glow stick girl. Keeps the vibes right." He winked, and the crowd hooted, their phones catching the spark in his eyes. The chat screamed, "Gator's flirting," as Vex's suit flickered pink again, her three eyes narrowing with intrigue. "Your methods perplex me," she said, stepping closer, her voice measured but curious. "Why fight with jests and chaos? It defies strategic reasoning." Jake scratched his mullet, then dug into his shorts, pockets deep enough to hide a gator, and pulled out a can of Spam. With a rusty pocket knife, he sliced off a chunk and offered it on the blade. "Strategic? Nah, Vex, we don't do that here. Florida's about survival, grit, guts, and this." He tapped the Spam. "Try it. Pure rocket fuel, Earth style." The crowd leaned in, their phones glowing like a constellation, capturing the bizarre moment. An alien scientist eyeing processed meat. Vexa took the spam, her fingers grazing Jake's, and the live stream chat exploded. Spam romance. Gator feeds his crush. She bit into it, and her skin flared brighter pink than the Walmart sign above, her eyes widening in shock. The crowd gasped, then laughed as she froze, chewing slowly. "Whoa, Vex, you're a neon sign now," Jake said, his laugh booming over the crowd's cheers. "That spam's got you lit up like a 4th of July gator." Vex's face twitched, and then she laughed, a strange melodic sound like static and wind chimes. The crowd let out a collective ah, their phones shaking as they zoomed in on her softening expression. Alien forums clipped her laugh, captioned, "Zygon scientist melts," while Earth chat roared, "Ship it, ship it." Jake's heart skipped, but he kept his cool, leaning back with a grin. "See? That's Florida survival," he said, his voice dropping to a playful drawl. "No fancy tech, just snacks and swagger. Bet you'd rock a mullet, glow stick girl. You and me, matching hair, owning the parking lot." Her suit pulsed pink, brighter now, and the crowd giggled, their phones catching the flirtatious spark. Vex's hand brushed Jake's arm, a fleeting touch that sent a jolt through him. The livestream chat went berserk. Florida romance. Gators got game, as alien meme lords posted images of Jake and Vexa with hearts. Florida man steals Zygon heart. Vex's voice softened, her formal tones slipping. "Your unpredictability intrigues me, Jake Malone." "Unpredictable's my game," he said, leaning closer, his grin pure charm. "Stick around, Vex. I'll show you how we roll." The crowd cheers faded to a hum as the night settled, the neon lights buzzing overhead. Jake and Vexa sat on a curb, the spam between them, its lid glinting under the lamps. A few diehard fans kept filming, their phones glowing like fireflies. Jake sliced another chunk of spam, handing it to Vexa, who ate without hesitation, her suit glowing a steady pink. "Your world thrives on disorder," she said, chewing thoughtfully. "Yet you find strength in it. My data cannot explain this." Jake chuckled, wiping his knife on his shorts. "Ain't about data, Vex. Florida's a wild ride. Gators, storms, guys like me, but we keep going. Want to get it? Stay with me. I'll show you the real Florida." Her 3 eyes met his, and for a moment, her scientist facade vanished. "I wish to understand your ways, Jake," she said, her voice almost shy. The pink glow in her suit pulsed, and Jake's pulse raced. He'd flirted in dive bars, but this, an alien glowing like a neon sign, sharing spam in a Walmart lot? "Peak Florida. Deal," he said, his voice warm. "We'll start with Waffle House. Best hash browns in the galaxy." The crowd, still lingering, let out another ah, their phones capturing the moment. The livestream hummed with Florida romance as memes flooded the internet. Vex's pink glow dubbed spam glow queen. Jake's grin labeled Gator's alien crush. But before Jake could say more, a low hum cut through the air. A sleek probe descended, its runes glowing, and its voice boomed. "Jake Malone, the galaxy summons you." Jake squinted, unfazed, and grabbed a spam can from his shorts. "Tell him I'm busy, robot," he shouted, hurling the can. It clanged off the probe, and the crowd roared with laughter, their cheers shaking the lot. The live stream spiked, memes exploding, Gator defies galaxy. As Vex's glow brightened, her hand lingering near Jake's, her eyes locked on him with something deeper than curiosity. The Walmart parking lot glowed under flickering neon lights, the asphalt strewn with crushed cans and overturned shopping carts. The crowd's laughter echoed, their phones flashing like a lightning storm as they filmed the metallic probe hovering above, its glowing runes pulsing in the humid air. Jake Gator Malone stood with a smirk, his tie-dye tank top, sporting a gator chomping a taco, damp with sweat, his mullet swaying as he tossed a spam can at the probe with a clang. Vexa, the silver-skinned Zygon scientist, stood close, her suit shimmering pink, Her three amber eyes locked on Jake with a mix of awe and something softer. The livestream chat exploded. Gator defies Galaxy. Spam versus Robot. As the crowd roared, their cheers shaking the Ocala night. The probe's mechanical voice boomed again, undeterred by Jake's toss. Jake Malone, the Galactic Council decrees you Earth Champion. Present yourself for judgment. Jake squinted, hands on his hips, cargo shorts sagging with Tabasco and who knows what else. Judgment? Sounds like a desk job, Robot, he said, his voice dripping with Florida man swagger. How about you tell your council I want a Walmart membership? Free hot dogs for a year. Non negociable. The crowd lost it, their chants of hot dogs. Hot dogs, drowning out the probe's hum. Phones zoomed in, capturing Jake's grin as the livestream skyrocketed across galactic feeds. Memes flooded the internet. Earth's TikTok posted Sweet Home, Alabama, montages of Jake's cart ramming, while alien forums shared gifs of his spam toss captioned, Gator Scams Galaxy. The probe hovered, its runes flickering as if processing the absurdity. Vexa tilted her head, her suit pulsing pink. Your defiance is statistically improbable, she said, her formal tone tinged with amusement. Improbable's my middle name, Vex, Jake replied, winking. Well, actually it's Earl, but let's keep that off the chat. The crowd laughed, their phones shaking as the chat screamed. Gator's got jokes. Vex's pink glow brightened, and she stepped closer, her voice softer. You reject galactic honor for processed meat and retail privileges? Jake shrugged, fishing a Bud Light from his shorts and popping the tab with a hiss. Honor's cool, but have you tried a Walmart hot dog? Life-changing. He offered her the can, his grin pure charm. One more sip, glowstick girl. For the vibes. Vexa hesitated, her three eyes narrowing, but she took the can, her fingers brushing his. The crowd hooted, their phones catching the spark as the chat erupted. Florida Romance 2.0. Bud Light love. She sipped, wincing as her suit flared pink again, but this time she didn't gag. Marginally tolerable, she said, her tone almost playful. Alien forums posted clips of her sip, captioned, Zygon waifu levels up, while Earth's memes dubbed her Bud Light Bae. The probe, ignored, buzzed louder. The council names you Chaos Unconquerable. Accept your title, human. Jake rolled his eyes, leaning against a toppled cart, its wheels squeaking. Chaos Unconquerable? Sounds like my Tinder bio, he said, earning another wave of laughter from the crowd. Tell you what, Robot, throw in a Waffle House gift card, and I'll think about it. Hot dogs. Waffle House, the crowd chanted, their phones flashing like a disco ball. The livestream crashed servers, alien meme lords sharing Jake's quips with captions like Earth's Troll King. The probe's runes dimmed, as if the council, light years away, was baffled by Jake's demands. After a pause, it chimed, the council complies. Membership and sustenance granted. The crowd roared, hoisting Jake onto their shoulders as phones captured the victory. TikTok trended with Gator Scams Galaxy. While alien forums debated, is this human a genius or a fool? Jake, perched atop the crowd, raised his Bud Light, the can glinting under neon lights. To Florida, he shouted, and the chant of Florida, Florida, shook the lot. Vexa watched, her suit glowing steady pink, her scientist facade crumbling. She stepped forward as the crowd lowered Jake, her voice cutting through the cheers. Jake Malone, I resign my post with the Zygon fleet, she said, her tone firm yet warm. I must learn your Florida ways. Jake's heart skipped, his grin widening. For real, Vex? You're staying. He leaned closer, his voice dropping to a playful drawl. First stop, Waffle House. Scattered, smothered, and a date with me. Her suit flared pink, brighter than the neon signs, and the crowd let out a collective ah, their phones zooming in. The chat screamed, Gator and Vexa forever, as alien memes posted heart-eyed images. Zygon scientist falls for Florida man. Vex's hand touched his arm, lingering this time. Your chaos captivates me, she said, her formal speech softening. I accept your hash brown proposal. Jake laughed, his pulse racing. That's my girl. He leaned in, and under the buzzing neon lights, they kissed. A quick, electric moment that sent the crowd into a frenzy. Phones flashed like strobe lights, the live stream spiking with Cosmic Kiss and Florida Love Wins. Alien forums exploded with clips, captioned Interstellar Romance, while Earth's TikTok trended with slow motion edits set to Sweet Home, Alabama. The crowd parted as Jake and Vexa walked toward his beat-up pickup truck, its bumper sticker reading, "I brake for gators." The live stream faded, phones lowering as the night settled, the neon lights casting long shadows across the littered asphalt. Jake tossed his keys, catching them with a grin. Ready for the real Florida glow-stick girl? Vex's suit glowed pink, her three eyes bright. With you, Jake Malone, I am prepared for anything. As they climbed into the truck, the crowd's cheers softened to a hum, their phones capturing the truck's taillights, fading into the Ocala night. The Walmart lot fell quiet, save for a faint rustle near the store's entrance. Under a lone street lamp, Krogath, the once mighty Zygon warrior, stood in a tie-dye, "I love Walmart" shirt, leading a group of alien kids in yoga poses. His blue scales glinted as he stretched, muttering, "Breathe like a Florida sunrise." The kids giggled, mimicking his warrior stance, as a stray phone caught the scene, sparking one last meme. Krogath's Zen Redemption.